And as I say, I really want to talk to sort of 4 points. The first one is very much a philosophical point. It's about the underlying thoughts that go behind the book and why I think the book's important. And then I'll talk through 3 of the really practical points as well. And as Juliet says, well, I'll try and talk for about 15 minutes and leave some time for questions at the end. So that first philosophical point, I thought I'd give it sort of key it into something that so many of us, certainly parents here in the UK, have experienced during the course of lockdown, which is doing PE with Joe. And if you know anything about Joe Wicks, he and I have had a very different career trajectory since we were both on television together a few years ago. Joe's all about being lean. Joe writes books about being lean. He teaches you to do exercises to make you lean. And I think in many ways, a lot of us in business have been trying to be lean for a very long time now. If you look at the lessons you learn in business school, you look at the overwhelming sort of management rhetoric and theory, it's about how can we be leaner? How can we do more tomorrow, better tomorrow, but doing the same things we did yesterday, just with less resource, fewer people, more profit. And this constant drive to be lean went on for decades and decades and decades. And it's built some really successful organizations through sort of continuous process optimization. We've built these lean, mean organizations that have built incredible scale. The problem is, I think the game's changed now. The world's changed. Even before the crisis, the game had changed in many ways. And already a lot of the leaders I work with were starting to shift their philosophy and deciding that this constant striving towards optimization just wasn't enough anymore. It wasn't going to be sufficient to see them through the next 20 years, 30 years. It wasn't enough to build sustainable success. And the reason for this is the underlying change in the nature of business these days. Continuous process optimization, continue to optimize your business and make it leaner and leaner, works really, really well when you've got some sort of runway in terms of the demand for your product, your service, what you want, and very low chance of it being utterly turned on its head overnight. And as we've seen in the last 20, 30 years, with the advent of globalization and the way it sort of contracted and compacted the world, with the advent of digital communications technology, and particularly digital tools for underpinning innovation and accelerating the pace of that innovation, we're now seeing what I described as these high frequency waves of change.